Good morning, all of you. Myself, Shital Patel. Today, we will learn about the relations between fetus and maternal pelvis. Okay. So first, in that we should learn all these things, all objects in that lie. What is lie? Second one, presentation. Then presenting parts, which are the presenting parts, as well as attitude, denominator, position, as well as cephalic prominence. So first we should learn about the lie. What is the lie? Definition of lie in that it is the relationship between the long axis of fetal ovoid to the long axis of uterine ovoid. Okay, so there are the relationship between fetal ovoid and uterine ovoid. We should name it as a lie. It may be a longitudinal lie, transverse lie, or oblique lie. You can see in the picture it is the oblique lie, right? Uterus ovoid and maternal pelvis, the relationship between is obliquely attached. Then longitudinal lie, in that you can see the vertex presentation. We will learn later what is the vertex presentation. Okay, the first one is the longitudinal lie, then second one is the same as longitudinal lie, but there is a presentation is different, that is bridge presentation. Third one is transverse lie. Now, what is the presentation? That the part of the fetus that lies over the pelvic inlet and occupies the lower poles of uterus, right? Whatever the baby's part which occupies the lower pole of uterus is called presentation. So there are three types of presentation. It may be a cephalic, second one podalic, or you can say the breech presentation also. Third one is shoulder presentation. Okay, so you can see the first peak vertex presentation. The head part is occupied. That's why it is the vertex presentation or cephalic presentation. Second one, you can see the buttocks are occupied, the lower pole of uterus. That means it is the breech presentation. Third one, you can see the shoulder, which occupies the lower pole of uterus. That means it is the shoulder presentation. Now the presenting parts. The most dependent part of the fetus which is felt first on the vaginal examination, right? When the nurse or doctor perform the per vaginal examination, whatever the part of fetus first seen is called presenting part. In cephalic presentation, you can see the depending upon the flexion, you can see the vertex presentation, brow presentation, face presentation, or deflexed head. You can in picture you can see the first one is the well flexed presentation, second one is less well flexed presentation, third is brow, half front area, half face, then lastly is fully face presentation. Now the in bridge presentation. In bridge presentation, first one is the flexed bridge. Both legs are well flexed. Fetal legs may be a flexed. Then second one is extended bridge. Legs are extended at knees. Then the last one is the footling bridge, that completely extended. Now the fetal presentation, in that head presentation and bridge presentation. It is the difference between these two presentation. First we will see the cephalic presentation. The head occupies the lower pole of area, then the face, then vertex area of uh, fetal skull is occupied, then last one is the brow. Okay, the same way in the bridge presentation you can see the frank bridge. Frank bridge means there is a extended legs from knees. Then second one is completely bridge, fully flexed buttocks. That means complete bridge. Then footling, you can see the foot which occupies the lower pole area. That means it is the footling bridge. Now the attitude, the relation of fetal parts to each other, how the extremities are related to each other. Okay, so it may be there are two attitudes in that flexion and extension. Typical fetal attitude, mostly seen, that is the universal flexion. That is the most common attitude of fetal. First one is universal flexion with head flexed. You can see in the picture also. The head is well flexed over the chest, arms and legs flexed in front of the body, and back curved forward. back also curved forward. So it is the typical universal flexion procedure, flexion attitude. Then denominator, an arbitrarily chosen point on the presenting part of the fetus which is used to describe the position. Okay, so there is this skull. In that particular, you can say the occiput, we can choose this point for presenting part of fetus which is used to describe the position. By choosing occiput, by the relation of occiput to the pelvis area, you can identify the position of baby. Position, the relationship of the denominator to the four quadrants of maternal pelvis. Okay, so in vertex presentation, you can see the left occiputo-anterior, left occiputo-transverse, left occiputo-posterior. The same way on the right side, right occiputo-anterior, right occiputo-transverse, right occiputo-posterior. In peak, you can see occiput is on the anterior area of mother. That's why it is occiputo-anterior. It not lie on the right side or left side. That's why it is the occiputo-anterior. The same way, the occiput lies on the left side of mother. That's why it is the left occiputo-posterior. As well as it lies on the posterior side of mother and on the left side. That's why it is the left occiputo-posterior. The same way, occiput lies on the anterior side as well as on the left side of mother. That's why left occiputo-anterior. In this slide, you can see the occiput lies on the transversely, not transversely as well as on the left side. That's why left occiputo-transverse. Then occiputo-posterior, you can see the occiput lies on the posterior side of mother. That's why occiputo-posterior. Thank you, everyone. We should learn another topic.